the Sports Bash pre-show presented by Sunshine Physical Therapy in Comac. Give Vinny a call for care of orthopedic and sports injuries, joint ligament reconstruction, and much, much more. Give them a call at 631-499-1038. They are located at 297 Comac Road in Comac. Good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined by that guy, Vinny Tickets. Number to call is 631-451-1039. Later on in the show, we'll take your phone calls. We'll also have This Day in Sports History with Whiz Kid Vinny. But first of all, good morning, Mr. Tickets, and a belated Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day to you as well. How was your day?
The day was great. We had a wonderful time. I did have to work at WFAN last night, so we had to get all of our Father's Day activities taken care of during the day. We had a wonderful lunch, our family, and then I was off to work, but we had a great day together.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you some kudos. You know, a lot of times people like to take shots at people. This is an uplifting one. You are truly a great dad. Everything that you talk about, no, seriously, everything you talk about your boys, you talk about your wife, you talk about your family outings, going to the Mets, going to the Islanders, going to concerts. So I just wanted to tip my hat to you for being a special guy and being a great dad as well.
I appreciate that, and you're not too shabby yourself in the dad department either, because as much as people like to joke about me, like, you know, how do you get all that stuff done in the course of a week? You're pretty busy also with a lot of the stuff you do.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I think in that respect, I think you are a lot more than just okay.
Yeah,
but speaking of just more than okay, it's time for the Sports Bash Flash, and it's brought to you by a really much more than okay restaurant. In fact, it's a fantastic restaurant, the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. Did you happen to catch Embassy Diner's Instagram post yesterday?
I didn't.
That Gus did. He did a great Father's Day Instagram post and brought his dad in, who we see at the restaurant sometimes when we come in. So it was actually a pretty cool video. If you haven't seen it, go on Embassy Diner's Instagram page and check out the video that Gus, the owner, did with his father, which was an awesome video. Let's start, unfortunately, in Boston last night, where the Yankees lost to the Red Sox 9-3. Aaron Judge did hit a monstrous home run in the first inning, his 26th of the year, but worse than the loss is the potential absence of first baseman Anthony Rizzo. Left the game in the seventh inning, running the first base, was involved in a collision, a lower right arm injury at first base. Manager Aaron Boone had an update on that after the game.
The initial imaging, just the fluoroscope, which is a low-grade X-ray, was negative, but he's in some pain, in that kind of lower arm in a number of places. So, obviously he'll get a lot of tests tomorrow and see what we're dealing with.
It looked really scary, the collision at first base. He was in a tremendous amount of pain, and really, and I'll do a for Pete's take on this today.
Was it clean?
Oh, was it clean? No, was it
clean?
No,
I know it was clean. It was like bang, bang. Does it look like he kind of offered his hip a little bit there?
No, I didn't get that impression, but
I did hear some controversy about that.
The Yankees do have some options. We're going to get to those options, and we'll also get to the Mets when we resume the update coming up. As Sports Bash, we welcome in our radio audience coming up in just a couple of moments.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Falcone Law Firm. If you need to speak to an attorney, call them at 631-6074-LAW. That's 631-607-4529. By the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. Visit their website at martylyonsfoundation.org. And by Collaborate Studios, a content marketing production facility. For more info, Call them at 516-509-8277. Good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz. He's Vinny Tickets. 631-451-1039 is the number to call to join the show. Later on in the show, we'll have this day in sports history. But once again, a good morning to Vinny Tickets.
Good morning, Peter.
For those who are also tuned into our pre-show, we started to do the Sports Bash Flash presented by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage. We talked about the Yankees' 9-3 loss to the Red Sox last night in Boston, and we started to touch on the Anthony Rizzo injury. And if he's out long-term, Vinny, the Yankees have a couple of options, and I did it for Pete's take on this. That'll get posted later today. But the Yankees could move DJ LeMahieu over to first base and put Oswaldo Cabrera full-time at third base. That's a possibility. They could even roll the dice a little bit, maybe throw Aaron Judge over there at first base. They could do that. But the thing that I'll bring up also is, now, the Mets are back in the wild card race. They're only a couple of games out, and they're only a few games under 500. But Pete Alonso is an ensuing free agent coming up, impending free agent this offseason. So if the Mets don't stay in the wild card race, if they start to stumble again, what if, Brian Cashman picked up the phone one day and called David Stearns and said, "Are you still looking to trade Pete Alonso?" He goes, yeah, we're probably not going to get him signed during the offseason, or, I don't know what's going to happen. And maybe the Yankees make an interesting offer to get Pete Alonso to the Bronx as a rental.
Well, now I know what you were doing at 3 a.m. last night. Thinking about these possibilities.
I was thinking about it when Anthony Rizzo was laying on the ground at Fenway Park. That's what I started to think about. And also, Joe Beningo at the Fan put that in my head when I was working there on Saturday morning. So I really started to think about that, and I'm like, it would make all the sense. But again, to me, it only makes sense if the Mets fall out of the playoff race and or they decide not to trade Alonso.
Right. We actually we have a faction of our family that is Met fans. So yesterday afternoon, we actually had the Met game on in the backyard and the barbecue. And you know what? Mets look good.
They do. And speaking of the Mets, they had the brooms out at Citi Field yesterday.
First pitch, swing and a high fly ball to left field. Peralta going back to the track, to the wall. Well, he's paid up. Pete Alonso with a 3-run homer. And the Mets have taken a 4-1 lead.
That was Howie Rose on WCBS 80. Maybe future Yankee Pete Alonso with that home run. Drove in 5 runs on the day, and the Mets finish off a 3-game sweep, beating the Padres 11-6. When I said potential future Yankee, did WizKid roll his eyes at me?
He did.
He did.
He did, yeah. Not happening, Wiz?
No. I wasn't rolling my eyes. I was just shaking my head no.
He's
thinking it could be a possibility.
He helped produce for Pete's Take today, and I mentioned the same thing, and he just was like, all right, enough of this. So, Met fan over there is not happy. Mets begin a series with the Rangers tonight in Arlington. The Yankees are off. They'll host the Orioles' first-place showdown in the Bronx. The Yankees reeling with these 2 losses, and let's see if they can get things righted against the Orioles in the Bronx. Bryson DeChambeau won the U.S. Open yesterday, and the NBA Finals probably come to an end tonight. Game 5 in Boston as the Celtics lead the Mavericks 3-1. And I saw something, and this is up your alley, obviously, on the ticket side of things. I saw a graphic yesterday, and I'm not going to mention that the graphic did not mention or credit as the source ticketbash.com, but I did cross-reference to make sure that this graphic was correct, and they're right on par. Get in the door price in Boston tonight for Game 5, Celtics and Mavericks. Now remember, the Celtics with a chance to win their 18th NBA championship on their home court tonight. I'm sure you know, but I don't know if you've checked in the last few minutes.
I haven't checked in the last few minutes.
You're always looking, and that's your job. It's your life. But get in the door price. Is it up to $2,000? Because yesterday it was $1,700.
Yeah, $1,700. But keep in mind, most of these sites that people look at, that's kind of like a bait and switch price. I always use the term it's a fake price.
Yes.
People say, well, I see him at $1,700. Well, yeah, $1,700. I can't even get them for $1,700. But $1,700 after fees on most sites is $2,200.
Right.
our get-in right now on our side is $1,900 to $2,000.
And that's
no
fees.
fees.
And there's
all
no
in.
fees attached to it.
Yeah.
So if you're watching us in Boston and you want to see the Celtics wrap up the NBA championship tonight, it's going to cost you $2,000. Now you can spend the $2,000 on the ticket, or you can watch it on TV and spend the $2,000 on Boston Celtics official NBA World Champion merchandise after it comes out.
Yes, and wear that to the Bahamas on your vacation.
On your vacation.
Right.
So there you go. So that series probably comes to an end. But again, it was an interesting weekend for the baseball locals, and we can talk about it at 631-451-1039. You touched on it before. What a weekend for the Mets. And the bats broke open yesterday, but the Mets have been winning these games by not generating a whole lot of offense. And most of that offense, up until yesterday with Pete Alonso driving in 5 runs, was J.D. Martinez. And he has been an absolute machine. Now, I don't remember how it ended yesterday, but at one point he got a hit yesterday, and they showed a graphic on the screen that he had reached base safely in 10 straight at-bats. We were at the game, my family and I, on Thursday night when he hit the walk-off home run. That night, the Mets had 3 hits. The next night, they won the game with 4 hits. So the offense has to get better. They're fortunate. The starting pitching has been good. The bullpen has been a lot better, especially with Edwin Diaz coming back. But the Mets, we like to joke and bust the Met fans' chops, but the Mets are a serious contender now to be a wild card team.
They sure are. And you know what? To your point that I think it's 8 out of 10. Is that what it is?
It was
right
9
now?
out of 11.
Oh, yesterday.
With yesterday,
Yeah.
it was 9 out of 11, and I want to say, is it 10 out of 14, something like that?
Yeah, somewhere around there. So keep this in mind, and the Mets are winning, and they're winning ugly. You know, they still imagine when they start hitting on all cylinders. In other words, they're winning games with 3 hits. They're winning games with 4 hits. What happens when their pitching remains the same and they start breaking out 6 hits or 8 hits a game? So they're winning ugly, which is a good thing because the winning is the first part.
Right. And they go to Texas now to take on the Rangers, so we'll see if they can continue the winning ways on the road. And then we touched on this, the Yankees and the Orioles at the stadium. And that's got to be a big ticket item this week, too, when you have the Yankees and the Orioles for first place. And this is one of those situations where not only is it a division rivalry, just from a ticket interest standpoint, but they're so close. So you always see a lot of Yankee fans in Baltimore, and now that the Orioles have begun the last couple of years, I'm sure you're going to see an invasion of Orioles fans this week at Yankee Stadium. I've got to imagine, maybe not to the extent of what that ticket demand was for the Yankees-Dodgers series last weekend, but there's got to be a huge demand for tickets for Yankees and Orioles this week.
Big demand, but if you do want to see a rivalry, it's not crazy. I mean, you could go to the game. You know, people always say, oh, it's $1,000 day. It's not $1,000 day. It's, stop on the way, grab some lunch. You could get in the building and have very good seats between $50 and $100. Unlike the Dodgers series, that was
that was crazy.
Crazy prices, or unlike the Celtics, very reasonable prices. But it's also a weekday. If it was a weekend series, you'd probably see, the numbers amped up a little bit. But weekday series, it's a big rivalry. It's supposed to have fantastic weather the next couple of days. So get your tickets.
Speaking of Baltimore, and for those who follow me on social, you know that, especially on Facebook, family and friends, my best friend who I grew up with on Long Island, Rob Friedman, he lives in Baltimore. He moved to Baltimore a number of years ago. Him and his outstanding family live in Baltimore. And he grew up a huge Mets fan, and now has started to kind of be a little bit of a fraud because he doesn't talk about the Mets as much anymore, but he likes to talk about the Orioles, especially yapping his mouth the last couple of years with the Orioles getting good. So we go back and forth on social media about the whole thing. He thinks the baseball season needs updates every single day. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. So the Yankees lose a game, the Orioles win a game, he's got to open up his mouth. But in all truth be told, he's my best friend in the world. I love him like a brother, and today is his birthday. So I do want to wish my friend Rob in Baltimore the happiest of birthdays, a belated happy Father's Day, and look forward to chatting on the phone with him a little bit later on today. And let's go Yankees this weekend. Beat up on the Birds, take care of business, and let's solidify that first place standing because I don't want to hear from my friend in Baltimore this week if the Orioles come in here and take 2 out of 3.
You go, Peter.
There you go. When
Love
we
it.
come back, first of all, on Facebook and YouTube, stay with us through the commercial break. We'll have some more stuff for you. But when we come back on the radio side and also on video, we're going to have This Day in Sports History with WizKid Vinny. We'll also take care of some unfinished business from Friday. We'll tell you about what's coming up this week. It's all coming up with Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethlehem. It's Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, back on Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, as we wait to welcome back our radio audience. Wanted to bring this up because we touched on this a little bit last week, but there was a big press conference here at the airport last week that we said we were going to talk about. We knew about what was being announced, but we never got to it. But it's very, very exciting that JetBlue is coming here to MacArthur Airport. It was a big event here last week. I know my mother, who lives in Florida, is excited because she will only fly on JetBlue. So we always have to schlep to Kennedy to go pick her up. And starting in October, she can actually, and other people, can fly here from West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, that's exciting news. JetBlue it's a great airline, and actually they're running some great promotions. So go to JetBlue.com, take advantage of those great special prices.
I saw $49 each way to start with, right?
Yeah.
But if you want that middle, like the blue package, I think if you want the extra leg room or you want to be able to check a bag, I think it goes up to $79, which is still a great deal to go from Long Island to Florida. A long time in the making, but JetBlue is here at MacArthur Airport. We're about to welcome back our radio audience. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, 631-451-1039. Want to hear from the happy Met fans. I mean, it's your chance to shine. I mean, you know, Vinny and I, as the Yankee fans here on the show, we have been busting your chops and making fun of you for most of this baseball season, while the Yankees were dominating to the top of the American League East. And now the Yankees are slumping a little bit. They've got their injury concerns. Jason Dominguez got hurt in the minor leagues yesterday. Now we have to wait on Anthony Rizzo. We don't know what's going to happen. But this is a Met Monday. This is a Met Monday. A 3 games. You
Never thought I'd hear that.
You like that alliteration? I love alliteration.
Yes.
So it's a Met Monday. 3 straight wins over the Padres to sweep. 5 straight wins overall. They're going to play the Rangers in Texas tonight. This is a Met fan's chance to kind of, pound those chests and, enjoy it right now. It's a couple of games out of a wild card spot. These are good times for the Mets. So we want to hear from you at 631-451-1039. Do want to finish up some business from Friday because we were under some time constraints, but we had Free Ticket Friday. And we gave away 2 VIP tickets to see Cole Swindell in the TicketBash.com VIP area at the Bald Hill Amphitheater. And our winner was Charles Mandel. And Charles, if you're listening or watching, congratulations on winning those 2 tickets. But we do need you to reach out to the radio station and give us your contact information so this guy over here, the ticket guy, can get you your 2 VIP tickets.
Give him the number.
631-451-1039 is the radio station number. So give us a call so we can get your contact info. And just again, for those who aren't familiar with the TicketBash.com VIP area, what is Charles in store for that night?
A magical night.
A magical night.
So Bald Hill Amphitheater actually has a VIP area. It's a VIP deck overlooking the entire venue, looking right at the show. We're gonna get him 2 tickets on that VIP deck. Have his own private VIP entrance, VIP bar, Drinks not included, just to be clear about that. But yeah, it's really a great night and a great place to see the show. I couldn't believe how many people love. I guess I could believe it, but the phone lines lit up on Friday, and it was
like
a little
Christmas,
bit of mayhem.
It was like Christmas in June
Yes,
with the
yes.
phone lines lighting up. And they have some great shows coming up at Bald Hill. I know that's not the only country music show they have. Jordan Davis is going to be there during the summer as well. And I know they've got some other fantastic
Freestyle
shows.
show.
Yeah, so it's a great lineup. It's a great facility, and looking forward to getting out there for a concert. But again, for the Mets, these are magical times right now because you didn't see this coming, especially with all the with some of the injuries and just the way that they were stumbling along early in the season, and now they have won 5 straight games. And they are on track here to get back into this wild card race. As far as the Yankees are concerned, we touched on the Anthony Rizzo injury. I mentioned briefly Jason Dominguez. And here's a guy that you thought, last year he came up and he set the world on fire. I mean, he was hitting home runs every night, and then he gets the injury, has to have the surgery, and now he works his way back and went on the rehab games, was fantastic, got reassigned to AAA, and you would think he's just like an injury call-up. And as you see Anthony Rizzo get hurt last night, you start to think about Jason Dominguez maybe being in the mix. But earlier in the day, he had gotten hurt as well, taking a swing, left side oblique injury. So that's just an unfortunate thing for the Yankees now because this guy, if he stays healthy, Jason Dominguez is going to be a big part of the Yankees for a long, long time.
That's agreed. And one thing that nobody's really talking about, though, Peter, is that the Yankees have done this without Garrett Cole.
And he's coming back. So, yeah, would you make that trade? Would you trade? And nobody wants to see an injury on any team in any sport. But if I asked you, Peter, do you want to trade Garrett Cole for Anthony Rizzo? Garrett Cole doesn't play first base.
I understand that, but
I need somebody
I
to
don't
play
think
first
it's that
base.
pivotal a position.
Well,
it's not your shortstop. It's not a middle infielder.
You have to have a first baseman.
Agreed. And
Who is on first?
No, what's on second?
I don't know. He's on third. We're not trying to stay on first base here for a second.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Yankees need a first baseman, but what we all need right now is a little dose of this day in sports history. And for that, we're going to bring in Whiz Kid Vinny. And today's edition for for Monday, June 17th. I wrote Friday on the script. It is Monday. Sorry, it's a manic Monday for me. And here's Whiz Kid Vinny with this day in sports history.
You think of Manic Money, the song, you wish it was Sunday because that's your fun day?
Yep. Do you know who sung that song?
I know it was a woman.
It was a woman's group.
Yes, I knew it was a...
This is, again, an unofficial Stump the Whiz.
I don't really think about that one.
Sounds a little bit like the Beatles.
I don't know.
The Bangles.
Something with an S at the end. I know that.
Wiz's expertise is not on 80s and 90s music, so we'll let him do this.
I know about some songs, not exactly the...
You're off the hook.
You're off the hook.
You're off the hook.
This day in sports history.
Okay, well, this day in 1960, the legendary Ted Williams, the greatest Red Sox player of all time, many would argue, and I would not disagree with that, unless you count Babe Ruth, of course. He hit his 500th home run for the Red Sox against the Cleveland Indians. That was a 3-1 victory. What happened was it was the top of the third. They were on the road in Cleveland. There was a 1-1 game. Then Williams hit a two-run shot to the center field. It was a home run. That was his 500th. By the way, that year, that was also his final year in the majors. His legendary career came to a close that time. And also that year was the brief time in the 60s they had 2 All-Star games, one earlier in the season, one later in the season. So he got 2 All-Star nods that year. And even that year, his final year, he got 29 home runs.
And didn't Ted Williams homer on his last at-bat of his career?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that was the case, right?
Yes.
That's remarkable. Last ever at-bat. You think about how great it was when Jeter got that game-winning hit against the Orioles in his last home game. But Ted Williams closed his Hall of Fame storied career by hitting a home run in his final at-bat, which even as a Yankee fan, I have to think that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And sometimes when you think about this stuff like the Jeter or that, if you write it in a script and you were watching it on a movie, you'd look at it and you'd be like, it's a nice story, but it could never happen, right?
Awesome. Yeah. Absolutely. Great job, Wiz, and
No
a
problem.
great moment in sports history. some more housekeeping. 1 week from today, we are so excited about this. So 1 week from today, you're going to get a double dose of Sports Bash. You're going to get a regular show at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then at 11:30, a week from today, on June 24th at 11:30, we are going to be live on our video streams, YouTube and Facebook. We're going to be at the St. Jude Big Daddy Celebrity Golf Classic at Cold Spring Country Club in Huntington. It's a who's who of A-list celebrities. They're going to be at this golf event with a great cause, the St. Jude Children's Hospital, and we are going to be broadcasting that morning starting at 11:30, probably for about an hour, hour and a half, as we welcome in guest after guest from the start of the golf event in front of the pro shop. They're going to have a great setup for us there, and we're going to be talking to Big Daddy and a whole bunch of other celebrities who are going to be there that day.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And it's going to be tremendous. Jim Leyritz, the former Yankee World Series hero, great, is going to be there, and we're going to see Michael Strahan's going to be around. Again, we're throwing out names, not necessarily guaranteed that everybody is going to join us on the show. Brian Baldinger is expected to be there from NFL Network, but it's going to be a great day for a great cause. And as I teased this the other day, because I like to bring up food on the show too. My understanding from going on the site visit with Chris Ganem is that we are going to be broadcasting right next to the barbecue that the golfers are going to enjoy before they
Was that by request?
No, I had nothing to do with that. The person was showing us, this is where you'll be. We're going to turn the chairs around this way. And Chris is like, I'll shoot the camera that way, get the start of the golf course. And she goes, by the way, there's going to be a barbecue right here for the golfers, and you are more than welcome to take part in that.
Maybe we'll have a hamburger eating contest.
Well, I don't want to rush because I'm sure going to wear a nice shirt that day, and I don't want to drip anything all over nice clothing. Like
Peter.
if it was a backyard barbecue, I can understand getting a little messy. But it's a nice day with a lot of important people around. I don't think I'm going to go too nuts there that day. How about that? Well, that will wrap it up for this Monday edition of Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. Do you know what tomorrow is?
Free Ticket Tuesday.
It is Free Ticket Tuesday. We're still putting the plans together for You Make the Call. We're still having high-level meetings about that, how we're going to do it. We'll talk more about it during the course of the week, but we're going to figure out a way to give away 2 tickets for something tomorrow. Stay tuned to our socials and find out what we're going to do for Free Ticket Tuesday tomorrow. So for Vinny Tickets and WizKid and for Nick and Sebastiano, all our crew, I'm Peter Schwartz. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.